Welcome back to How to Be a Better DM, the official podcast of Monsters.rent. I'm Justin Lewis.
And I'm Tanner Wayland.
And we are here to help you tell better stories for yourself and your players as you dungeon master sessions of D&D, Dungeons & Dragons. We'd like to give you some quick announcements. We actually have one before the show, and then after the show, if you want to stick around, we have some more announcements then as well. But first, let's talk about this. Tired of being alone? Are you tired of not having any of your players understand you? Are you tired of never truly belonging? Well, you're in luck. All you need to do is join the Guild. The Guild is a unique and exclusive experience that is only open to Dungeon Masters. It is a full community focused on helping ease your DMing burdens. Want to meet other DMs? Join the Guild. Want to discuss your homebrew ideas with people who would appreciate it instead of just telling your cat? Join the Guild. Want to find a place where all your wildest dreams will come true? Join the Guild. Go to monsters.rent/guild and sign up today for free. Wait, that can't be right. Chuck, can you check this again? Is this supposed to be... What? Oh, they're serious? It's free? Oh, okay. All right. Yes, go to monsters.rent/guild and sign up today for free, even though they are crazy for giving this away for free. Common side effects may include burping, sneezing, laughing, breathing, hearing, listening, tasting, farting, critting, sarcasm, and in extreme cases, explosive diarrhea. Awesome. With that out of the way, we can get into today's show. You step through the dank corridor, a slight breeze tickling your skin, bringing with it the certain smell of death. Only the light of your flickering torch guides you past coffins filled with piles of dusty bones. Your senses are on alert for any sign of movement or danger. You grip your battle axe for comfort, drawing strength from the ancient runes that have guided your family for centuries. You descend a set of worn stairs and enter into a larger room with a single sarcophagus in the center and the chair on the far wall where a skeletal frame sits in a tired pose. You move forward and hear a grinding sound. You look up. The arm of the seated skeleton reaches out towards you, its index finger slowly extending to point towards you, dank robes dangling limply from its bony frame. The skeleton's eyes light up with a sickly green glow and sound emanates from its mouth, though the jaw does not move. You hear a very old voice whisper, "Rarely do I receive visitors to my chambers. I hope for your sakes you prove to be useful." What do you do? Hi, welcome to the first ever episode of How to Be a Better DM, your source for constant tips on how to create better and more engaging stories for you and your players while playing the famous Dungeons & Dragons. I'm your host, Justin Lewis, and I'm excited to introduce you to this show. As of right now, the show will come out on a weekly cadence, and it won't be more than 30 minutes long. We'll be talking in terms of the RPG Dungeons & Dragons and be using the 5th edition, or 5e. Many of the tips I share will likely apply to other games, but we'll stick to D&D. I may have other guests come on the show, but for now, you'll probably just hear from me any tips on how to be a better DM. So, without any further delay, let's get into it. For today, I want to share 4 quick tips on how to build an interesting one-shot. Now, the reasoning behind this is that if you can build a one-shot, you're most of the way there to creating an interesting adventure and then a great campaign. It's all building blocks put on top of one another, right? So let's get to it. Number 1, adventurers assemble. Let's get our group together. That means you create your characters or you choose to use simple template characters. It also means figuring out the difficulty level of the encounters you want to use. And you can use the actual D&D Beyond encounter builder for this. It's really awesome and it makes it really easy. You basically just type in all the levels of the characters you have in your party and you're good to go. You can choose whatever creatures or enemies, villains, adversaries you want to use. You'll also plan out the timing of your one shot. So if you're new, Assume that you'll play anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. You can do more or less, but that's a good standard time frame. That's what a lot of people do. That's what me and my friends do. So in that time frame, you generally can do 2, maybe 3 encounters, depending on how many people you have. If you have 6 people in your group, like I do right now, it gets a little bit difficult to do those more than one encounter. But if you have 2 or 3, then you could easily do that. So that's number 1. Get your group together. Number 2 is pick a big bad boss. In any video game or movie, there's always a big bad boss, and that boss is always more interesting and more difficult than any other creatures that you're going to face. So to make an example, let's pick a lich, as you heard at the very beginning of today's show. Number 3, you need to connect that boss to the characters, right? The characters need to feel invested in the adventure, and they have to have a reason to go pit themselves against the big boss. So, for example, in this case, let's say the Lich has been using undead minions to steal things from a local town, and that's been causing a lot of havoc in the town. Obviously, they're uncomfortable. There's undead people coming in their home and stealing things, right? So that's number 3. Connect the boss to the characters. Number 4, make a twist. So, for example, let's say in this case, the village made a deal with the Lich to provide goods for him and companionship, because obviously he's lonely, in exchange for saving the town from a terrible drought many years ago. After a while, the village reneged on the deal, and now the Lich wants revenge. He's angry that the town took the blessing that he gave them without any gratitude. This twist allows the players to explore multiple ways of creating peace. You can also put this twist out in many different ways. So in this case, the adventurers are going to find out in the crypt where the Lich stays. But if you wanted to run the adventure differently, you could have them find out before they even leave the village. So there's that conflict. But again, it allows the characters to explore multiple avenues of solving the conflict. They might try to bargain with the Lich. They might try to defeat the Lich. They might try to bargain with the village. Heck, they could offer fealty to the Lich and decide to rampage on the village. Anything can happen. That's the great thing about D&D. So, in recap, number 1, assemble your adventurers. Number 2, choose a big boss. Number 3, connect the big boss with your adventurers. And number 4, make a twist, because we all like being surprised. That's just a couple tips on how to make a one-shot. And, the nice thing about D&D is you don't need to necessarily plan it all out. If you're good at improvisation, that always helps. But this kind of helps you get your ideas in the right vein and get yourself going down the right track. And like I said, this is a quick example, so and you can totally go and take it and use it however you want. Use this Lich scenario however you want. But I'll come out with more and better tips on organizing one-shots and things like that. But this should get you started. So if you like today's show, thank you guys so much for listening. Let me know on Instagram at Geronimo Levis. Otherwise, thanks for listening to today's show again, and just go out and be better DMs. But now, let's roll initiative. Thank you for listening to today's show. We really appreciate your support and your patronage. We have a few more announcements to go over. First,
did you ever fall in love with the library as a kid? It was a place where you could experience 1,000 stories without having to buy 1,000 books. That is what Monsters.rent can do for your D&D campaign. You can rent and swap out as many quality miniature monsters and creatures for your D&D party as you could ever want, without having to buy them. You can rescue villagers from a kobold camp, or lead your party through the fighting forest, or many more adventures. We're coming out with new bundles all the time. Just sign up for our subscription to get access to your own personal library of minis. Go to monsters.rent to find out more. That's the website. monsters.rent. Get your library pass to a world of minis today.
We also wanted to let you know that today's episode is sponsored by Stardust and Dragons. I'm going to let one of the cast of Stardust and Dragons, Christian Hatcher, and his crew tell you a little bit more about it.
This August, a new adventure podcast is coming to a platform near you, filled with action.
You one of the two of them. We can't keep taking hits like that.
Drama.
Everything that she's
been doing, everything she's going to do, finally sets in.
And Stardust.
Help! Help! Someone, please!
Find out more about this epic odyssey at stardustanddragons.com, where adventure awaits in the stars.
That's all the announcements we have today. Again, thank you so much for everything you do for us. You make this show possible. Like we said before, we'll be back next week with another great episode, and until then, let's go ahead and roll initiative.